Good afternoon, everyone. Coach, whenever you're ready.
Give you a couple more seconds. Sorry, running a little behind. Kaz said we're not allowed to start until he gets in here. All right, we're rolling. Even though he's not in here yet. So from the game yesterday, Tony Adams, further evaluation over the next 24 hours. Quincy, same thing. We're going to continue to evaluate him over the next 24 hours. Same with Michael Carter, the second, and then Garrett Wilson's fine. He's cleared.
What about Zerline, Robert? Do you expect to have him back?
We're going to get him through, go through the week and see where he's at. We won't know till about Friday.
Do you guys have any plans to add anyone to the quarterback room this week?
That's probably more of a question for Joe, but not. I don't think so.
You say Quincy further evaluation. Is he going for an MRI on his knee?
I think they already have. Everything looks good. It's just trying to see what happens over the next. Everything's clear. Just want to make sure everything's good over the next 24 hours, with how they feel and all that stuff. So, not really concerned about any of them. Again, it's just not trying to put a timetable on availability, just in case something changes over the next 24 hours.
Robert, obviously acknowledging you guys played a really good front yesterday, but you have any concerns right now about the offensive line?
No, it's tough. It wasn't. It was kind of a weird game, and I know it from a contextual. Just looking at it and just trying to watch and just trying to make sense of everything that happened. Especially early in the game. Credit to them, converted a lot of 3rd and 5 or less. They were able to stay ahead of the chains, stay in manageable situations, convert 3rd downs, and really just hog the ball for the most part, especially in that first half. Offensively, we had some opportunities, a couple of 3rd and 1s. We were able to convert a fake punt, but a couple of 3rd and 4s, a couple of 3rd and 5s, we just couldn't convert in the first half. So I have it here. I think before the 2-minute drive, they had run almost 50 plays, and we only had run 13. That was before the 2-minute drive to start the second half. So when you get into that, you're just the lack of you just can't get into a rhythm. You're sitting down for so long. You don't really get a chance to get into a rhythm as a play caller. You don't really get into a rhythm as a player, and the game never really had a chance to come to the offense because of the lack of opportunity. Still felt good going in the locker room. Felt like if we can get the ball, we can get something going, and it just didn't happen.
Pass protection. When you're facing a guy, it looked like, from watching it again, it looked like Dwayne Brown was probably singled up on Parsons about half the amount of snaps, and I'm wondering if there was more that could have been done in terms of double teaming or chipping or sliding in that direction, considering how dynamic Parsons is.
No, one, they do a really good job moving him everywhere. He plays inside, he played over the center, he plays outside, he moves everywhere. He is dynamic in that regard. I will say we were helping in that direction. I think one of the sacks, the slide was in that direction. They did a really nice job on the loop to bring it back on a three-way pass. We just couldn't get it done. And then the second sack was a screenplay that got broken up, and which a DN is just trying, in Dwayne's defense, he's just trying to overset to just try to get him out of the way, and you're expecting the ball to be gone at that point. So, but look, he's arguably one of the best players in football. put him up there with Bosa. Said that earlier in the week. He is dynamic, and they do a really nice job moving him all over the offensive line.
Robert, with how high expectations are of this defense, is containing top offenses like the Cowboys sort of the next test that this group has to pass to sort of be considered and solidify themselves as one of the best units in the league?
Last week felt like we did a really nice job. Obviously, versus Buffalo, we saw what they did this week with the Raiders. It's like I said, there's just from an efficiency standpoint on third down, we just couldn't get off the field, and then on the flip side, so just to give context to it all, when you can't get off the field and you see almost 50 plays in a half, which is almost a game, you're going to get tired. Your technique's going to lack. You're fighting for your life at that point, and the more that it's like body blows, they sting. And the longer these drives go, I think we had over 5 drives that lasted 12 plays or more, and that's a lot of credit to them, being able to stay ahead of the chains and be able to convert those third downs. And so they kept body blown, and they did a really good job with it. And I don't know if it's one game, guys, and I don't think it really defines who we are as a defense, who we are as a team. But it definitely was a really good job from their standpoint. Give credit to Dallas. They're so efficient in everything they did. Took advantage of if we were off a step, they took advantage of it, and that's a credit to them and their execution.
Robert, do you have to kind of hammer that point home to some of these guys that it's just one game? So that I think guys asked you yesterday if thought it might spiral, and you said it won't. But a day later, do you have to kind of make that point and say, hey, let's wash that away, let's move forward?
Yeah. Just like last week wasn't the Super Bowl, this week's not the apocalypse either. And I know it tends to feel that way, especially in this market, but it is what it is. We lost the game. It's a hell of a football team. You got to be able to face the music and try to figure out what went wrong and tell the truth about it. Don't just read a box score and make assumptions, but just try to tell the truth with one another and where we need to get better, whether it's play calling from a coaching standpoint, whether it's execution from a player standpoint, whether it was anything. You're just trying to find ways to make sure that it doesn't happen again. But you have to turn the page and go on to the next game. We got 15 of these left, and yesterday obviously sucked. But again, it's not the end of the world either.
Robert, do you think you guys could have run the ball more, or is this the same thing with the 13 plays before the 2-minute drills where you don't really feel like you guys have an opportunity to do?
No, that's pretty much it, Kaz. When you look at those, you look at those 13 plays before the 2-minute drive. I want to say 7 or 8 of them were actually first and second down, normal situations. It wasn't third down. It wasn't second 11 plus where you're trying to get back on track. It was normal where Hackett could have called a run or a pass, and I think it was 5 run, 3 pass that he called. We just could not get into a flow of being able to stack up runs. We get to a 2nd and 1, we run a boot, we run the quarterback sneak. These are those 2nd and 1s, 3rd and 1s. We've got to convert those. Those are going to give you an opportunity to run the ball more. And I think it happened, especially early in the game, where we weren't efficient enough on short yardage situations. Whether it's from a creativity standpoint, whether it's an execution standpoint, it's all of it. It's all of us. We're all in the same bucket. But and then obviously you go back to the defense not being able to get off the field to give the ball back. Like I've always talked about, our job as a defense is to get the ball back for the offense. And like I said, when the tilt is almost 50 plays to 13 before the 2-minute warning, you're not going to the box score. You can't read the box score. It's going to look out of whack from that regard.
I think we'll go more, Coach. A couple more, Bob.
Reviewing, what was your second day takeaway on Zach's performance?
It's funny. He's not going to see a better pass rush. I mean, he could, and you never know. I mean, Dallas's pass rush is pretty good. It's about as good a pass rush as he's going to see. And I think anyone who watches football and you look at it from a global standpoint will see that he's so much improved in the pocket, his presence in the pocket. I thought he delivered a lot of really good passes. That ball to Garrett that he was trying to throw at just before the half, if it doesn't get tipped, that's a touchdown. The strike he threw to Garrett for the big touchdown, he threw a couple of really good took care of the ball. He scrambled when he needed to. He stepped up in the pocket when he needed to. I thought he did a really nice job. Did it get away from him in the fourth quarter when I felt like he was trying to make a play with us being down 3 scores? He made a couple of throws that he didn't need to make. But up until then, I felt like if we could have just got them the damn ball and gave them some more opportunities, I think it would have. I think people would have seen that he was playing pretty well up until, like I said, when it was garbage time and he was trying to force the ball.
Robert, I know you talked about the box scores, skewing everything. You know, Brees mentioned yesterday that he only got 4 touches. Obviously, that's going to happen, flow of the game, everything like that. But should he have gotten the ball more? And did you have to talk to him at all? Is he frustrated about it?
Shoot, I'm frustrated, but I don't think it was intentional. Like I said, I'm frustrated because we didn't get him the ball because they weren't on the field. He was on the bench. It's hard to give the guy the ball when he's on the bench, and he's on the bench because we couldn't get off the field on defense, and that's the frustrating part. And by the time we were able to start winning some third down reps, I think we were 6 of 8 on third down in the second half on defense. By the time that started happening, well, the game was over. The game is out of whack. We're trying to throw to catch back up. So, like I said, from an offensive standpoint, it was the game was just out of whack with how very few opportunities we had and how very few opportunities we had to create. I mean, shoot, after we had that big strike route to Garrett, we had opportunities at getting the ball back from a takeaway standpoint. Couldn't get any of that done. Felt like we could have been better as play callers to put our players in position on defense to be a little tighter, to eliminate some of those windows that they were taking advantage of. And it just, like I said, we needed to be better on defense to get them the ball. And if we could have done that, then Garrett would have, all of them would have seen the ball more. But it didn't happen that way.
Robert,
Last one here.
it felt like with Aaron all summer and spring, he's so good that it felt like you guys thought he might be able to make up for some deficiencies, right? And I remember when we talked about the offensive line in Carolina, you said, well, Aaron gets rid of the ball so quick. That's going to help them. That helps the offensive lineman. Is it fair to say with Zach, and this isn't a knock on Zach, we were comparing him to one of the greatest players ever, just the margin of error just decreases with Zach in terms of those kinds of things?
No, I don't know about that. I think, look, when you're, I don't know what their third down stats were on. I'm drawing a blank. But when you, I don't care who you have on the other side of the ball. If he only sees it for 40 plays because you can't get them opportunities, I don't care who the quarterback is. I've always said the best defenses in the world are the ones that are watching, and because your offense is just hogging the ball. Now, could we have been better with third down efficiency on offense to keep our defense off the field? For sure, absolutely. But if we play like that on defense, I don't care who the quarterback is. It's not going to be good enough.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you,
All right,
Coach.
guys. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. This concludes today's meeting.